Check this.
Hello, this is Socially Triggered, and this video is going to be about Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. It's an important book that should be read by both sides of the political spectrum. Many people on the left are very familiar with this book, but people on the right should also be familiar with it because it's one of those books where the author basically captures the ideas that you can use to break down somebody else's argument. So what you can do is use his rules and you can basically win an argument even if you don't have facts or anything on your side. You can use these 13 points that he highlighted in his book to break down anyone's argument and basically defeat anyone in a debate or in a political battle. And these rules are very well used within the left and within the mainstream media. I see it all the time where they will use some of the rules that Saul Alinsky came up with to demonize or to belittle a political opponent. You'll see this a lot in interviews where they'll talk to somebody, they'll ask questions differently based on what their political leaning is. So it's important for us to know what these rules are so that when we see these rules being used, that we can recognize it and therefore combat it. This video is going to be relatively short, and I'm just going to show you what the rules are. I'm just going to define them and let you think about them. And later I'll do a follow-up video where I'll show how these rules are used in real-life examples. So let's get on with it. And here's the first rule. Number 1. Power is not what you have, but what your enemy thinks you have. Power is derived from two main sources, money and people. Have-nots must build power from flesh and blood. Number 2. Never go outside the expertise of your people. It results in confusion, fear, and retreat. Feeling secure adds to the backbone of anyone. Number 3. Whenever possible, go outside the expertise of the enemy. Look for ways to increase insecurity, anxiety, and uncertainty. Number 4. Make the enemy live up to its own book of rules. If the rule is that every letter gets a reply, send 30,000 letters. You can kill them with this because no one can possibly obey all of their own rules. Number 5. Ridicule is man's most potent weapon. There is no defense. It is irrational. It is infuriating. It also works as a key pressure point to force the enemy into concessions. Number 6. A good tactic is one your people enjoy. They'll keep doing it without urging and come back to do it more. They are doing their own thing and will even suggest better ones. Number 7. A tactic that drags on too long becomes a drag. Don't become old news. Number 8. Keep the pressure on. Never let it up. Keep trying new things to keep the opposition off balance. As the opposition masters one approach, hit them from the flank with something new. Number 9. The threat is usually more terrifying than the thing itself. Imagination and ego can dream up many more consequences than any activist. Number 10. The major premise for tactics is the development of operations that will maintain a constant pressure upon the opposition. It is this uneasing pressure that results in the reactions from the opposition that are essential for the success of the campaign. Number 11. If you push a negative hard enough, it will push through and become a positive. Violence from the other side can win the public on your side because the public sympathizes with the underdog. Number 12. The price of a successful attack is a constructive alternative. Never let the enemy score points just because you're caught without a solution to the problem. Number 13. Pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. Cut off the support network and isolate the target from sympathy. Go after people and not institutions. People hurt faster than institutions. So these are the rules, and you probably, just from the ones you've heard, might think of some real life examples of where these are used. The one that I can think of is whenever I see like an interview where they interview Trump, because a lot of the media don't like Trump, they'll ask him very specific questions about what his policies are going to be, which makes it almost impossible to, define some very expansive policy with all the details. And they'll ask him for those details. They'll be very precise about trying to get every little detail about those policies. When they interview like Hillary Clinton, she can talk in very broad terms, and they allow that to pass. That's one of these rules that you basically get the details until their argument basically falls apart because they don't sound like they have all the details, and you can sort of question them on that and say, oh, you don't seem to know what you're talking about because you don't have all the details. Well, nobody has all the details. Even if you've done it a million times, you don't have all the details because it would take you a long time to explain all the details. So these are the kind of tactics that they'll use within the media and within activist groups to defeat their oppositions. So it's really important to be aware of these rules. And if you have good examples of how you've seen these rules being used, please comment below and give me examples. I want to find examples of these so that I can showcase them in future videos. So thank you for listening. This has been Socially Triggered, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.